Morning, everybody. So let's move on to the Dow. So, cheapers this week has been absolutely nothing going on. After all these weeks of all this volatility, and we've basically only moved in 3 days. What's this? 260 points. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of uncertainty around Trump at the moment, which is causing a few problems for us. But yeah, nevertheless, let's just move on. So the weekly Dickinson is obviously the level that we are interacting with right now, and there's nothing really else here that we can worry about. Actually, maybe just the top of last week's high. Okay, we need to break this high, otherwise we're going to be ending up with an inside bar on the weekly, and an inside bar on a weekly Dickinson is not going to be very bullish at all. Okay, so we've got to get a new high, and the way we're going, I don't know whether we're going to get anything further than what we're getting. So we've kind of slipped into this range, and this trend line here. Okay, so that trend line was broken and retested. If I move the trend line up now to the new level, you'll see we've got 1, 2, and now this is the third touch. Now, there is a bit of divergence here, and this is continuation divergence. Okay, so in other words, continuation to the downside, and we're bouncing off the bottom of the cloud. This barbed wire that's formed on the daily is not very convincing either way. Whether we break to the upside or to the downside is still to be seen, but this is not a very positive signal. Okay, a lot of indecision happening at the moment. I'm not even going to block it out. So we can see it quite clearly. You see tails to top, tails to bottom, 2 days in a row with very little net movement. So there's a lot of indecision. Now the 4 hour is where it starts getting interesting, because we are sort of hugging this trend line to the downside. But if I just add another trend line over there, and let's just do that, you can see that we are forming a flag of sorts. Okay, so we've had a very strong move up. We've broken through the cloud. We have a bullish crossover here. Okay, we've had a twist, and price is above price. Sorry, Chico span is above price, and it also got above the cloud, and we're now hovering on the cloud. So that is 3 out of 3 bullish signals. The only concern that we have at the moment is that Dickinson is rolling over. Now, we had this 4 hour bar that started at 5 o'clock, which was a lot of indecision. And this is when we were waiting for Trump to announce that he was pulling out of the Iran deal. And you could see how the market was just waiting for that. Now, that pushed oil up quite substantially, and the Dow typically follows oil. So in my mind, we have broken the cloud. Okay, so that's positive point number 1. Chico span has broken through price and the cloud, so that's positive point number 2. We've had a crossover here, that's positive point number 3, and we've had a twist in the cloud, that's positive point number 4. So those are 4 bullish signals, and we are hovering on this downtrend line. So a break of this flag is immediately going to put, let's just take it from here. It's going to give us a target of 2485885. Okay, so let's just put a line in there, and you'll see where it lines up. So it lines up with the top over the previous high here and there. So let's just move this down to, let's just get a really good solid look. There we go. Okay. So you can see there's a lot of touches there, a lot of touches there, a lot of touches there. So that's definitely the next area of resistance, okay, which coincides with this measured move. So I'm still bullish on the 4 hour. So the daily is a lot of indecision. So there's no real plan there. But on the 4 hour, we do have some bullish action here. But the fact that we closed off with this engulfing green is also a pretty positive signal. Okay. Now you can see how this 200 4 hour EMA, this purple dotted line, is acting as resistance at the moment. So I'm expecting us to break this to the upside. So let's just get the 1 hour out. Okay, you can see if we just tidy this segment up here, you can see how we pretty much have a channel to the downside. Okay. The 200 EMA on the hour is also held up price. So you can see Chico span has come into price, which means we're ranging. We're in the cloud, which means we're ranging. We've had a negative twist here, but it's fine. It's a twist. Okay, so long as we're looking for a twist, it doesn't really matter which way. These colors could be any color you want them to be. I'm looking for a twist of these two moving averages, which we've got. And we're about to get another crossover here. So we're about to get a bullish crossover in the cloud. Okay, and Chico span is, there's not much above Chico span. So it'll take one squirt of a green candle up to here, and Chico span will be through price. So on the hour, I'm also pretty bullish. What I'm looking for is a break of this weekly Dickinson. If we can break above this, then we are pretty okay. Okay. Anything is possible. Obviously, we could pull to the downside, but for me, this is a flag, and I'll play the break of this flag. So we get a 1 hour close above this trend line, this green trend line here. I'll definitely be in with a long. Until then, I think I'll just sit on my hands and just wait to see what happens, wait to see what unfolds. So lastly, you can see the indecision bar here when Trump was talking last night, 8 o'clock South African time, which was 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when he was talking. And you can see how the market reacted, not knowing what to do. Then as soon as the speech finished, the market decided, oh, it's not such a bad thing, and the buyers stepped in. So I'm pretty confident that the impact of the Iran deal is not really going to affect the US markets negatively. I think this was just a worry that he might have said something else. So for now, everything is looking rosy to me, and I'll be waiting for a break to play to the upside. And bear in mind, a break of this flag breaks a long-term downtrend. And that long-term downtrend has obviously been in play for quite some time. Okay, and then the last thing before we leave is, let's take it from there. So for all intents and purposes, we have created 3 higher lows. So there was the first low, this was higher, and that's higher. Okay, so this correction sequence, because we had this long move to the upside, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've had a 5-wave correction sequence. In other words, we've had 3 attempts to break to the downside, and all 3 attempts have found buyers. Okay, so that was the first attempt, second, third. So in my mind, it's just a matter of time before we break this downtrend, and then the question is, where are we going to go to? Okay, are we just going to go test the top here, or here, there, and then range for the rest of the year, or are we definitely going to just continue on our merry way up? And you've got to remember that this is a big triangle, so a break to the upside does give us a target of follows. Basically gives us a new high. So that's kind of the long-term picture at this stage. And I'll say there's just last thing before we close off. Just have a look at the monthly, and you'll see all the buyers that are stepping in here. I mean, buyers are all coming in this range. So anything in the below 24, so anything below 24,000 buyers are stepping in to buy. So I mean, this is still an uptrend. So we're still preferably play the longs, but play the longs from decent positions. Okay, guys. So that's the Dow. Break of the flag is going to give us some decent upside, and that's where I'll be looking for longs. And hope it helps, and I'll catch you guys later.